What's up, everyone? Welcome to our new episode. My name is Amin Jouhara, and I'll be your host for today. Today's episode is about the change. The only constant in life is the change. This is one of the IPEC Foundation principles. Let's think for a moment and let's think about the change. As human beings, we often resist to change. It feels uncomfortable, unfamiliar. It's even threatening. But the truth is that change is not something to fear. It is the foundation of growth. It is what keeps life moving forward. When we embrace it, it is becoming the most powerful ally that we have. Okay, let's start. Think about it. Every single aspect of our lives keeps changing over time. Our body change. We grow taller, we become even more powerful, sometimes thicker, we eventually age. But even aging, the process comes with maturity, wisdom that we could not have when we were younger. Our behaviors evolve. Who we were 10 years ago is not who we are today. Even our interests are changing. What fascinated you as a child might seem irrelevant today, but with every new interest, we discover new passions, joy, and also new parts of ourselves. Change is not the enemy, it is a mirror of the progress. Let's explore the change in business. Do you have some examples in mind about drastic changes which happen in the business? Let me give you some very powerful ones. Let's think about one giant in the mobile phone industry, Nokia, a company that once ruled the mobile phone industry. They were pioneers, leaders, but they failed to adapt to the rise of smartphone. While the world changed, Nokia stood still and eventually they lost their place in the history. Have you seen the last conference where the CEO was literally in tears saying to people, "We have not done anything wrong. We just did not change at the right moment." Wow, that was very powerful. Or let's take another company like Kodak, being photographer and being in this industry. It is the brand which ruled photography for so long. In fact, Kodak was the one inventing the digital camera, but they were too afraid to embrace it because it was like uh, a threat for their film business. At the end of the day, they did not embrace the change and they lost everything. These stories are not about failure, they are lessons. They show us that the fear of change is far more dangerous than the change itself. Now, let's flip it, okay? Let's look at different narrative. Let me show you how embracing the change has led also to incredible successful stories. One of the most famous ones, Steve Jobs and Apple. When Steve has returned to Apple in 9, the company was almost bankrupted. Jobs brought radical changes, streamlining product lines, introducing innovative product like iPod. Who remembers iPod? It's so funny. iPod, iPhone, iPad, all these changes did not save Apple only, but it turned it into one of the most innovative and the most successful companies in the world. Let's speak about a person, Nelson Mandela, Madiba. Okay. Mandela spent 27 years in a prison. Most people would have come out of the prison with anger and bitter, vengeful sometimes. But he really embraced the change, not for himself only, but the entire population and entire country, and became symbol of forgiveness. And that's so powerful. Last of the examples that I'll name is Samsung. Samsung. In the early 2000s, Samsung was not the giant in electronics that we know today. So the chairman at that time wanted to offer some gifts to his families and friends. And at that time, the feedback that he received was like product was not very good. Quality was a major issue. Immediately, he decided to address a message to the entire headquarter employees saying that change everything except wife and children. And from that day, he wanted the entire company to focus much more into the quality than the, let's say, productivity and quantity that they were manufacturing. And that was powerful change. And we know today's result where Samsung stands in their own industry. While the example of changes I shared are about famous people and companies, the change is for all of us. No one is left behind. Just from the nature point of view, think about an insect or a plant transforming into a butterfly or a tree. It literally changes to become something completely new. And that's one of the powerful examples that we speak about change in life. Change might feel like the end, but it's actually just the beginning. Do you have any personal story of a change that you have experienced? Think of people who lose their jobs only to find a new career that they are passionate about. Here I have my own experience where I was an architect working in a big company in Algeria and I was facing some issues. I was young and I had at that time I was asked to leave. The only thing, my wife was working with me and she was also asked to leave at the same time. Both of us were asked to leave the company just 1 month after getting married. We felt the world is collapsing around us. Thanks God, 2 weeks later, I found a new company in a new field, which, let's say honestly, I moved completely from architecture to electronics. And I would say I'm so grateful because today I hold, let's say, such a senior position in one of the greatest electronic companies. Uh, in the same example, I'll speak about our, let's say, my current company in 2000 October. I will never forget it. I think even October 25th. Uh, the company has announced the creation of complete new division, and that division was about focusing on a specific geographical territory, and it was a drastic change. Complete restructuring, some positions completely wiped up, some new positions has come in, and I had two options. Either I apply for a higher position or I go back to Algeria. And it was so scary that I remember, and that's a funny thing. We met in a shopping mall after the working hours with many colleagues and our wives. Is like a committee crisis to discuss the future of us. Like, oh, what will happen? I'll go back and everything. And thanks God, I also applied for that more senior position. I got it, and not only I stayed in the company, but I had the opportunity to grow even further to reach the position I am in today. And although it seems like very easy when I speak about it, I'm telling you, it was not easy. The change was never meant to be easy. Human nature, we always focus on the risks, but I think we need to find our inner strength to surpass that risk and make sure that we focus on the opportunity. We take it like maybe the last chance. There is this story of the corner tiger also. So it is very important that embrace the change. Okay, accept it, welcome it, open your heart, open your mind, and open your arms and welcome it. That's very important. So let me ask you this question: what changes are you resisting right now? What could happen if you embrace it instead of fearing it? Every change, big or small, is an opportunity to rewrite your story. So share your story, share the change you're facing. Yes, it's going to be scary. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. But when you lean into the change, you open doors to growth, transformation, and so much possibilities. Remember, the world doesn't wait for us to catch up. We have to adapt, to evolve, and to move forward. Keep moving, always keep moving. So, to close today's episode, I would like to remind you that the next time you're facing change, don't fear it. Don't resist. Just embrace it. Welcome it. As the saying goes, when the winds of change blow, some build walls, while others build windmills. Choose to build windmills. Choose to harness the power of change. It's not your enemy, it's your greatest gift. Because the change is what turns today's dreams into tomorrow's reality. By this, I'm ending our third episode about the change. Thanks for watching. Share your own stories. Share the change you've faced or you're facing in your life. And let's have thoughts on how we can embrace the change. See you in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and also don't forget to share your comments. Thank you very much. See you soon. Cheers.